Thanks for staying with us. Acting Chief Justice Raymond Zondo says Minister Sisulu insulted the judiciary in an opinion piece published on the news and information website IOL on the 7th of January 2022, which was titled, "Hi Mzansi, have we seen justice?" Zondo gave a media briefing a short while ago. Let's speak now to News 24 legal journalist Karyn Maughan. Karyn, good afternoon to you and thank you so much for your time. Very rich with insults, but very poor in substantiating and also not being specific with which judgments that she's referring to. These are some of the words that the acting Chief Justice had to say about that article.
Yes, Bongiwe, of course, very much echoing the commentary that has been made for quite some time by the former Chief Justice Mogoeng. Remember, during his tenure, the judiciary came under a lot of attack around 2015 and then subsequently in 2019. And he stressed in engagements with the media and post an engagement with former President Jacob Zuma, as acting CJ Raymond Zondo did today, that the judiciary was not, opposed to being criticized. It did not believe that it was above criticism, but that there needed to be specificity in that criticism, specific judgments referred to, and specific issues raised. And Zondo saying that this attack on particularly black judges, the suggestion that they were simply the tools of unnamed white masters, was wholly unsubstantiated with any evidence, any facts, or any reference to any judgments in recent times.
And one of the things that really became quite clear in that press briefing was whether or not this was the best decision or the best way for the acting Chief Justice to have dealt with this matter. Other journalists saying that he could have easily, written to the president, met with the president, or even spoken to the minister herself, and not just simply come out and have this entire press briefing. Some suggesting that this may not have been the way to go.
Well, he made it very clear that, the judiciary is a separate arm of state. It is not an arm of government. It is meant to be independent. It runs its own functions. And that, of course, we have seen the Chief Justice in the past, most notably Mogoeng, coming out in 2015, 2016, when a number of ANC officials, including Nathi and Nhleko, Gwede Mantashe, were describing judges as, quote-unquote, counter-revolutionary, saying that judgments that came out of the Western Cape or Pretoria were guaranteed to be against government. He actually sought an engagement with the then President Jacob Zuma, Minister Sisulu, of course, among those who had that meeting, and actively engaged with the former president, having a press briefing before and after that engagement. When judges were accused of receiving bribes from the CR17 campaign, Chief Justice Mogoeng again came out and spoke about it and said it was unacceptable, and if people had evidence, they needed to bring it to the fore. This idea that the judiciary must sit there quietly while people make comments or attack them and attack the Constitution and the rule of law, which are fundamental to what keeps our society functional. If government just ignores court rulings because they don't believe the judges are acting in the best interests of people, if people undermine the system of rule of law, we are going to be in a very dire state as a society. And Zondo just saying that he felt that the insults, the comparison of black judges to so-called house Negroes went beyond the pale of any kind of valid criticism, strayed into the area of insult, and was even more profoundly exacerbated by the fact that these were comments made by a member of the cabinet, the executive, a member of parliament, who had in fact sworn allegiance to the Constitution, and it's sworn as an official to uphold and protect it.
It's going to be interesting, Karyn, to see if the minister does in fact respond to this particular briefing, because as the acting Chief Justice says that if they would like for her to withdraw these remarks. It'll be interesting to see if she actually does, because when you look at what she's had to say on other platforms as well, is that she was really, she's happy that this conversation is now being had in South Africa, especially when you look at the litany of points that she puts there in her column. But we'll leave it there with you for now, Karyn, and thank you so much for your time. That's News 24 legal journalist Karyn Maughan.